Bantamweight bout. Victor Hugo Silva coming in at minus 145 against Eduardo Matias Torres coming in at plus 105. Hugo Silva, that is the 27 fight veteran that I was talking about before. But Eduardo Torres, 16-1. He's got a lot of experience under his belt as well, fighting out of Chile. 28 years of age for him. Hugo is on a long win streak. Goes all the way back 12 fights, I believe, that he's won in a row. He hasn't lost since 2014, so he's been on quite a tear. Gets a spot here on the Contender Series against a tough Chilean guy. Should be a good fight. I'm looking forward to this one. Who do you think pulls it off?
Yeah, I'm going to say something. And if I end up being right here, we can come back to it. But I'm not convinced this fight's even going to take place, because one thing I noticed going through Victor Hugo Silva's record is that over the last 3 years, he's fought at 145, 155, and even 170. And this fight's scheduled for bantamweight. So if you're fighting at 170 in the last few years and now you're going to cut down to 135, I know he's fought at 135 before, but it's been a while. And, that's pretty interesting. If he does make weight, then how does it affect him? Is he going to be way bigger and stronger and, have that on his side? Or is that weight cut going to be too much? And is it going to be draining and then affect him that way negatively too? So super interesting. He does have a lot of experience. Like you said, his record, he's got a ton of fights. It looks to be a decent striker, but the grappling should be on his side. He's a decent grappler. He lands some takedowns, especially when he gets in and starts brawling with guys. He'll kind of duck under and dump his opponent down to the ground. And for Torres, that's like one thing that I worry about with him, that his takedown defense might be a little suspect. But if it stays on the feet, I think Torres probably has the edge there. He has fought lower level competition. I mean, both guys probably have. But you can tell Torres is a good boxer. He's a good striker, especially from range. And, he throws decent kicks as well. And his volume's pretty good. So I think Torres should win this fight. But Victor Hugo Silva is just that wild card that you don't really know what you're getting. Like, I tried looking up tape on him, and there's a few things you can find, but there's not a ton out there, especially recently. So you just never know what you're getting. It kind of reminds me of Daniel Marcos. Was kind of that same way. He was like coming on the Contender Series, 3-year layoff, couldn't really find much film on him, and coming off a 3-year layoff, he looked phenomenal. So you just never know what you're going to get with these guys. But for the pick, give me Eduardo Torres. Betting wise, though, I'm going to wait a little bit deeper in the week and just see how that line moves a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty much seeing the same things. The one thing that jumped off the board to me was where he's fighting, like the weights that he's fighting at. That welterweight fight was that August of 2022, so a little over a year. That's 170. And then his last fight says it was at featherweight, but the weight on Tapology says 155. And that was May of 2023. So we're talking less than 5 months after that. You're going to get down to 135. It's a little interesting. I'm interested to see if it happens too, or how he looks on the scales at least. And you could tell if you look at his Instagram, like he's not like a spring chicken. He's 30 years of age. He's got 27 professional fights. He's balding. He looks like an older guy too. He looks older than he's 30 years of age. So we'll see how he looks. But yeah, good hands on the feet for Eduardo Torres. And I think if he can keep the fight on the feet, he probably has a good advantage there. But if you watch the film on Victor Hugo Silva, if he hits you, he's got some good power. Like he put out, I forgot which fight it was, but he put him out with an overhand right that just folded him completely. So Victor Hugo live for a KO on the feet and a submission on the ground. Eduardo Torres got a number of wins by decision. So he's going to really go for the volume attack. He's only got 3 first-round TKOs. Does pack some good power. His last 2 wins come by first-round knockout. So maybe he's strengthen up a little bit, get a little more power in him going into this Contender Series fight. I'm going to side with you. I'm going to go with Eduardo Torres. Those Chilean dudes, Peruvian dudes, they'd be tough. They're really tough. And I do think if he can stretch out the fight, maybe he takes over. If he can stuff some takedowns and just piece him up, I think he gets the win. So I'll go with Torres with you on